What's up YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we have a peptide tier list, ranking from dog shit. I wouldn't recommend this to my nan who fell down the stairs because she was starving for attention because the family hasn't checked up on her in weeks, to actually I would recommend this. This is superb, this is supreme, this is something that I would give to my nan after she's fallen down the stairs. So all of these are just my personal opinion, as well as my own, personal use, as well as what other people have experienced, the most common side effects, the most common pros and benefits to these peptides. If you don't already know what a peptide is, they are a short chain amino acid that's already produced in the body. They are tiny proteins. They're designed for your body to recognize them as such. Think of it kind of like as a molecular signal that your body can read and knows what to do with. With that being said, we're starting off the tier list with GHK-Cu. Now, this peptide is one of the best out there when it comes to skin repair, reducing signs of aging, and redness and inflammation. This shit can also heal acne scars, which is quite interesting, and other skin-related problems pretty quickly once it's saturated in the bloodstream. For me personally, I noticed much clearer skin while taking this. It sort of had like a tightness, a nice bounce to the skin, which I thought was pretty choice. I'm not using it anymore. Don't really feel like I need to. Might start it up again, but it's the pros are there. The only downside is that it takes at least 8 weeks for results to really start showing. Now that can be a bit of a problem if you have a hot date coming up and you want to fix your acne scars quickly. Not acne scars, but just acne in general, or inflammation or redness. Unfortunately, it's not going to be one of those rapid sort of fixes to your skin. I mean, with anything skin related, it takes fucking time, man. It takes time to heal. And, if you don't want to be a human whoopee cushion as well, I wouldn't recommend it to you either, because it takes at least 8 weeks to start seeing results with this peptide. So, with that being said, GHK-Cu goes in A tier. Beautiful. Moving on to IGF-1 LR3. IGF-1 can significantly enhance muscle protein synthesis, helping muscles absorb nutrients more efficiently, and you can recover faster after training. A lot of people, they notice stronger pumps, better muscle fullness, and faster recovery between sessions. It also increases satellite cell activation, which supports muscle repair and growth. Overall, it can create a short-term anabolic environment that feels noticeably stronger than training alone. IGF-1 LR3 unfortunately stimulates all cell growth, including potential cancerous or abnormal cells. So if you have a family history of cancer, if you have had cancer in the past, or you suspect you might have cancer, I don't really know how you would suspect it without tests, but obviously I would stay away from this if that is the case with you. It can also contribute to organ enlargement and reduce insulin sensitivity, raising long-term health risks. You also might get insulin resistance after using, as it desensitizes your receptors quite a lot. You can rely on that bouncing back. That does take a significant amount of time to get your GH levels in your pituitary to start working again normally. But if you want to use something lighter, a lighter option, I would go with CJC 1295 or Hormonal, just to, it's going to bump it up, but not significantly to the level that IGF-1 LR3 would. So for that reason, where are we? IGF-1, I give it somewhere, I give it a D tier, just because of the potential cancerous side effects. No one fucking wants that shit. No one wants to deal with that if it is something that is going to give them life-altering issues. Okay, we do not want that. Okay, moving on to melanotan 2. Okay, pros. It gives a deep, long-lasting tan with very little sun exposure. It boosts libido and increases pigmentation very quickly. Helps people who naturally burn instead of tan. Many users find that it is extremely effective for cosmetic tanning. Cons. causes nausea, flushing, and appetite suppression in many users. It can darken moles and freckles unpredictably, and it's not medically approved for long-term use. The thing with melanotan too is, yes, it fucking works. It works very fucking well, but the problem with it is that the onset of the tanning is so fucking quick that you are more likely to get darker freckles, darker moles, things like that, which is something that people are kind of trying to stray away from. The thing is that it's actually not going to cause melanoma, and that's a big misconception that a lot of people have when it comes to melanotan 2, is that it's going to develop melanoma, which is not true. And the whole reason why melanotan 2 was made was to actually prevent the increases in chances of you getting melanoma. If you have darker skin, obviously you're less likely to get burnt. That's the same sort of principle with melanotan 2. We're increasing the pigmentation in the skin, and therefore we are blocking a lot of harmful UV and UVB rays. All right, when was the last time you saw a black guy get burnt? Probably never. So for that reason, all the reasons, we're going to be putting melanotan 2, if I can fucking find it. Jesus Christ, I can't even read it. I'm just going to assume that this one here is fucking melanotan. Chuck it. An A tier. Very good peptide. It fucking works. The only downside is, yes, the freckles and moles will get a bit darker. No, it's not going to cause melanoma. In fact, it's actually going to protect against such. Okay, now moving on to HCG. HCG is proven to restore natural testosterone production. They maintain a healthy testicular size and fertility during TRT, or if you are coming off anabolics, it is awesome in restoring fertility. It's well studied and FDA approved for several conditions, provides predictable hormonal responses when monitored. The only cons are it can increase estrogen levels and cause gyno or mood swings. Requires careful dosing and medical oversight. It's not used for muscle gain alone and can cause water retention in some users. The interesting thing about HCG is that it actually was originally designed for women to use to try and conceive better. Want to learn a little bit more about that? You can just search it up. HCG for women. I'll give you a bunch of pros as to why women should use it if they are struggling to conceive or anything like that. HCG, it is a good peptide, and it is one of those things that can help a lot of people, especially males and females, struggling with their fertility issues. So for that reason, I'm going to have to go with A tier. Okay, moving on, we've got Peptide. Now this is a newly founded peptide. Actually, it's been around for a little while, but it hasn't really picked up in popularity like other GLP-1s like Cosmetic and retatrutide. But it is an extremely powerful fat loss peptide, similar to Rita. It improves metabolic health and reduces appetite. Early studies show impressive results, working through multiple pathways simultaneously. Now this was actually FDA approved in China, interestingly enough. Nowhere else but China has accepted this as a good option for losing weight when it comes to the peptide space. The cons are it's still experimental with limited safety data. Somehow China FDA approved this. Maybe there's some tests that's been going on over there. I don't know, I haven't really looked into it that much. It can cause nausea and gastrointestinal upset, just like other GLP-1s. So yeah, I don't know. Peptide. It's still relatively new. I don't really know too much about it. I don't know anyone else that's really talking about this peptide. But in effects, it does seem quite similar to Rita. I just think there are better options out there when it comes to weight loss peptides. The reason we're going to put it in a B tier. We've got a pretty interesting peptide here called PT141. So this peptide is actually quite similar to melanotan 2 because it reacts on the same pathways that increases libido and arousal. This peptide is actually made for both women and men to increase libido. It even works for people who do not respond to Viagra type drugs, fast acting and noticeable within hours, and can boost sexual desire without sorry, without affecting blood flow. Cons: can cause nausea, flushing, and raised blood pressure. Short duration of effects. Many online versions lack oversight, and some people experience severe headaches. Some people actually report not feeling fucking anything with this drug, so who the fuck knows? It is very individual when it comes to the effects. Some people love it, some people don't feel anything. Some people feel it a little bit, it quickly diminishes, and again, some people get a little bit of nausea um, and headaches at the start of administration. I would give PT 141 a, I'm putting it at the C here. Not amazing, not bad. It's just individual. Some people just don't experience the effects of it. Okay, moving on to MOTS-C. This is a mitochondrial derived peptide that enhances metabolism and energy. A lot of research suggests anti-aging and insulin sensitivity benefits. Low reported side effects so far. May support endurance and cellular function. Cons are very limited human research. Long-term safety is unknown and not approved for medical use. Effects vary widely between individuals. Now, I've taken MOTS-C. For me personally, I did not notice a fucking thing on this peptide. I didn't know what was going on. I just did some research into it at the time and decided, hey, this is something I want to try. I feel like a lot of the benefits that you are getting from MOTS-C is happening inside of you. It's not really anything cosmetic. It's not anything noticeable. And what I've noticed is that, well, nothing really. I haven't really noticed anything from this peptide, but I'm sure there are some good things happening in the background when it comes to MOTS-C. And for that reason, we're going to give it a C tier. This is a lot of people's favorites when it comes to growth hormone secretagogue peptides. And that's because it is the lowest risk, highest reward peptide when it comes to growth hormone secretion. The pros are it enhances natural growth hormone release for better sleep, recovery, and mild fat loss. It's safer and more physiological compared to growth hormone injections. They feel improved well-being and recovery and produces subtle but noticeable long-term changes. The cons are it is weaker than real HGH. You will not be getting the same benefits as actual HGH. You're not overriding your natural growth hormone pathways. You're more so just elevating to what you're already naturally producing, but it is more so stabilizing it and helping your pituitary work better. So with like something like HGH, you would be overriding your pituitary gland. You'll be solely relying on the drug to produce growth hormone. And same thing with like testosterone, right? When you're taking testosterone, your natural testosterone levels, they shut down, your balls shrink, you're not producing testosterone anymore. Same sort of thing, but with CJC 1295 with the pherelin, you're kind of just getting it, a nice little boost there. So yeah, you need consistent dosing and timing for it to work, and results can take a little while to show. So I'm going to put this in B tier. Most people's favorite peptide when it comes to healing tendons, ligaments, and bones, BPC 157. This is probably the most mainstream peptide out there, and it's for good reason, because it has excellent healing effects in animal studies for gut and tissue repair. Many users experience reduced inflammation and joint relief. There's fucking no side effects, basically no side effects to this shit, and works very quickly for injuries. Cons are limited human research or evidence, not medically approved anywhere. Long-term systematic risk is unclear. Quality varies by source. I think yes there, honestly. Obviously do your own research. But at the end of the day, it's fucking helping people, and people are having no side effects when it comes to this shit. I don't know anyone really that's had any side effects at all when it comes to BPC 157. So, if you are dealing with injuries, it definitely is something to look into. Semax. Semax. Improves focus, mental clarity, and cognitive stamina. Safe with minimal adverse effects. Works quickly when taken intranasally, and can improve motivation and stress resilience. Cons. Effects can be subtle, needs frequent dosing for best results. Some people report mild headache or irritation with prolonged use. Some people just say it doesn't fucking work at all. So I don't know. It varies from person to person. If you're using it or abusing it long term, it can make you very irritated, very agitated, anxious. It's something that you wouldn't want to abuse. If you are finding the effects to be good, you'll want to cycle 5 days on, 2 days off, or 2 weeks on, 1 week off, that sort of deal. So for Cimex, we're putting it in the C tier. You know, there's nothing too crazy about it, to be honest. I think it does get a lot of hype. I'm not promoting Adderall, but if you wanted anything that kind of sounds like what Cimex is, you know, boasted online to be about, you'd probably just be better off with going with Adderall. Now, Selank. Let me just fucking, what's going on here? Selank. Selank. Pros, it reduces anxiety and stabilizes the mood without sedation. Very safe and non-addictive. Enhances calmness and emotional control. Can improve social ease and stress tolerance. Cons, limited Western clinical data. Effects may feel mild or subtle, requires consistent dosing, and some individuals don't feel it from it. Kind of like the same thing with Cimex. Yeah. And for that reason, we're putting it in C tier again. You know, these two are very similar in potency and effects, obviously for different reasons. One is more of a mild antidepressant with, you know, cognition and energy. Whereas Solank is more like downtime, you know, reduces anxiety, but kind of puts your body in a non-hyperactive state, if that makes sense. We've got KPV next, which is a strong anti-inflammatory peptide with gut healing potential. Helps reduce redness, irritation, and inflammation flare-ups. Extremely low side effect profile and may support autoimmune related inflammation as well as rosacea. The cons are very limited human data. The benefits can feel mild. More research is needed to confirm effects. Now, I've used KPV for my rosacea. It's still there. Still need to work on that, but it did help. To be honest, I did notice effects from KPV. I would actually recommend it to people, you know, that are dealing with skin issues, alongside GHKCU, and for that reason, we're putting it in B tier. Oh, sorry, A tier. My bad. Now, moving on to the holy grail of peptides, we have got retatrutide. If you don't know what retatrutide is, you're about to know. This thing is an absolute beast when it comes to fat loss. All right, it is the most powerful fat loss peptide that has ever been tested, surpassing semaglutide, aka Ozempic, in trials. It is a multi-agonist pathway leading to extreme appetite suppression. It hits all three GLP-1s. Can improve metabolic markers drastically and actually can improve blood sugar levels if you're dealing with that sort of thing. The cons are it is still experimental with unknown long-term safety. There can be strong nausea and GI problems that are common, and it's not FDA approved yet, and not widely accessible through your GP or any pharmaceutical company. Long-term hormonal effects are unclear. Like with all peptides, the cons are there, but Jesus Christ, when it comes to retatrutide, guys, you do not want to sleep on this peptide. Yes, it is true that you can get nauseated and GI problems, but the effects compared to other GLP-1s like Ozempic, it's nothing compared to that. You know, you won't be getting the side effects if you have tried Ozempic in the past or know about the effects of Ozempic. The side effects are next to none when it comes to retatrutide. You know, if you are struggling with you know, weight loss, this thing is a beast. Again, it will definitely help. Okay, and for that reason, we are going to be putting it in S tier. Okay, this thing is superb. It is supreme. It is awesome. HGH. We're going to be talking about HGH now. It's clinically proven to increase IGF-1, improve recovery, and enhance fat loss. Great for skin, sleep, and overall vitality when prescribed. Produces actual, real, noticeable effects, and considered the gold standard for growth hormone therapy. Some people actually claim that this is the elixir of life. Cons are it can cause insulin resistance, very easily when coming off, as it is completely overriding your pituitary. There is swelling and organ and bone growth if abused. Now, this is only if you're like severely abusing it. I'm talking like double digits, you know, in the double digits of IUs a day, bodybuilding level type abuse. You will not get organ growth. Your nose won't grow, your ear won't grow, your ears won't grow. As long as you're keeping it in a safe and tolerable dose, 4 to 6 IUs a day max. Where were we? Very expensive. Okay, if you want to get real pharmaceutical growth hormone through a doctor, or through, you're going to be looking at a lot of money to run growth hormone. I know you guys are going to be like, what the fuck? What is this guy on about? But it's tier. And that's just simply because the effects are just so potent, so understood and so well studied that I do believe that is a superb peptide to take. Moving on to tesamorelin. Now, this is a FDA-approved growth hormone-releasing peptide that specifically reduces visceral fat. Oh, also, before I fucking move on, so yeah, with HGH, yes, it is a peptide. A lot of people think that it's not. It is. Just thought I'd clear that up. Now, moving on to semaglutide. Now, this is a FDA-approved and extremely effective peptide for fat loss. There's a strong appetite suppression with reliable clinical results, improved blood sugar and metabolic health, and that's it basically. With semaglutide, also known as Ozempic, it is very effective for fat loss, and there's a strong appetite suppression that comes alongside it, and that's what I'm going to say because we're going to get into the cons. And it was quite popular during, post-COVID, and a lot of people were using it, and a lot of people realized that, hey, this probably isn't the most optimal peptide when it comes to fat loss, as the cons can be quite nasty. So we've got nausea, bloating, and slow digestion. They're common. Weight often rebounds when stopping. It can cause low energy, and a lot of users experience constipation and dehydration. A lot of people say it weakens their bones. It can fuck up their menstrual cycles, especially if you're a woman. Sorry, if you are a woman. Hope you're not getting menstrual cycles. If you are a man, I'll go get that checked out. You can look into more of the side effects when it comes to Ozempic/semaglutide, and some people's experiences have been quite nasty when it comes to this drug. I'd say, honestly, it's a waste of time. Don't do it. There are far better options out there like retatrutide. And for that reason, I'm going to be putting it in F tier. I do not like Ozempic. I do not like what it does to people. So moving on to tesamorelin. It is a FDA-approved GH-releasing peptide that specifically reduces visceral fat, so the fat around your organs. It increases IGF-1 effectively and predictably, safe when used under medical supervision, strong data in clinical populations. The cons are it is very expensive, just like all peptides if you are getting it through a GP, but if you're getting it through the grey market, significant drop in price there. It does require daily injection, so again, if you don't want to be injecting every day, maybe it's not for you. It's not widely prescribed outside specific conditions. I do believe that this drug is mainly used for people with HIV, struggling with visceral fat. I think that's what it actually has been FDA approved in, but there are people out there that are taking it, obviously without a medical reason. The last thing that we have on the list here is TB500. Now, this is quite similar to BPC157. It's paired synergistically with BPC157 as it is shown to aid tissue repair, help with angiogenesis and healing in animal studies. Many users experience fast recovery from soft tissue injuries, low short-term side effects, and works well, again, synergistically with BPC157. The cons are human evidence is minimal, not approved medically anywhere. Long-term effects are unknown, purity varies greatly by source. There's been like a little bit of an upset in the peptide community as people believe that since it repairs cells, that it will also speed up, active cells, meaning could, potentially cancerous cells in the body. Now, that is something that's still kind of like in the air. We don't really know what the long-term side effects are when it comes to that. Honestly, I have used it. I haven't had a fucking problem with it. Just be wary that if you do have an active cancer or you're prone to cancer, that you look into it a little bit more and weigh your options when it comes to that. I forgot to put tesamorelin on the list, sorry, put that in B tier. Putting TB500 in S tier, and the reason why is because it works fucking well, and it's a beast when it comes to healing injuries. Yeah, there we have it. That is my peptide tier list. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you can like and subscribe, that would mean a lot. Also, you can follow me on TikTok, tristan.marshall78. If you need one-on-one coaching when it comes to peptides, hormones, looks maxing, whatever the fuck it may be, to improve your overall looks, health, you can flip me a message on TikTok and I will get back to you there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.